Thank you very much for purchasing the Trail Tools 2 tire turner system. So when you receive the system, you're going to receive your belt, your rope, your bungee, your shoulder straps, and your handles, as well as the D-ring attachment system for the tire, and we're going to now show you how to set all that up. Thank you. I'm going to show you how to set up the D-ring system. So the first thing you want to do is find the top of the tire, or whatever you consider to be the top of the tire. It doesn't really matter, but that becomes your 12 o'clock position. Once you find that, you're going to seat the D-ring the anchor in position, and I use this Sharpie white marker pen to just put a little quick mark on there to let me know where it is. See, I've made two little marks here for where the anchor goes into place, and I use a router, but you can use a drill, and if you do so, start with a small drill and then move up to about a 3/8 inch drill. This is about a 5/16 inch router, and so what I'm going to do is now drill the holes into the tire. The holes are drilled. Just take your anchor, and you have two 1/4 inch bolts and nuts, as well as washers. So you're going to lay the anchor down, making sure that you have the D-ring in there, and just shove the nuts in there, or the bolts in there, excuse me. Then on the inside, you'll take one of the washers and put it on one. Put the other nut and washer on the other. Then you take a 7/16 inch wrench, and I use a socket for the other, and this is also a 7/16 inch. So that's all you need is two 7/16 inch wrenches, and you're good to go. Handles, what you need to do is you need to take off each of the nuts and the washers first. You don't have to take off the other bolt and the other washer, just leave it the way it is. What you're going to do with this is you're then going to find the 3 and 9 o'clock position of the tire, the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position of the tire, and then you take your handles. You'll make a slight loop, however big or small you want to make the loop is up to you. You'll find the middle of that 3 to 9 o'clock position. You'll set the handle down, and then you'll get your marker. Make a quick little mark. Trying to keep it at that angle that you want it, and then we'll drill the holes. You'll do the same. You'll do the same thing on the other side, and then you'll drill your holes. You can see we've drilled the holes here, here, and here, and here. You'll just take and simply put the handle in on one side and then the other. And I generally look at the tire as I'm facing it. This is my right side because that's where I'm going to be wearing it. But you can do it the other side. The reason I say that is because each handle and each strap has red and blue clips on it. So red usually designates the right, and blue designates the left. Once the handles are down, you can see there's a nice little grip here, fairly even. And then what you'll do is you'll take your washer and your nut, and you'll put that on, and then you'll screw it down. And again, the only thing you need for this one really is the 7/16 inch wrench, because the other side will be held in place already, but you can use them both. Thank you. You have a right and a left shoulder straps, and again, we look at the red code and the blue code, so this will go on the right side and this will go on the left side. So what you'll do with these is you'll disconnect the clips from the shoulder straps, and you'll take off the nuts, bolts, and washers. Clips off. What you're going to do is you could just use one as a guide, and what I like to do is if I have wherever I have the D-ring, I consider that to be 12 o'clock. And what I'm going to do with the shoulder straps is I'm going to put the top clips about the anywhere from the 10:30 to 11 to 1 to 1:30 position, depending on how broad your shoulders are. What you can do is you can take a tape measure or whatever and measure from across your shoulder blades and figure out how wide apart they need to be. Or if you have a backpack that you wear or something like that, you can also use that as a guide as well. So once you have that, I generally put it around the 1 o'clock position. So between where my center tire is and where the start of the right and left handles are, I go to about about 1/3 over from where that is, and I'll make my mark. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll make my mark, and then on the bottom where the tightening strap goes, I make this one a little bit different because I want it a little closer to the handle because of the angles of the straps. You can see the straps have these angles, and so what I try and do is put it a little closer to the handle. So more, it's about, on this side it's going to be just about 3 or 4 inches off the bottom of the handle, and I'm going to make my mark on one side, and then I'll make my mark on the other side. And then I'll take my router and I'll make the holes. Drilled, what you'll do is you'll then take your clips and you'll put them back on there. So I use a small washer on the top, the nut, put that through the hole, and then one on the bottom. Again, I'll tighten that up with my socket wrench and my wrench, both 7/16, the same size. All nuts and bolts are the same size, maybe varying lengths sometimes. So the shoulder strap, the shoulder strap that's up by the head needs to be straight up and down, not at an angle. However, when you put the clip on at the bottom, same thing, I take the nut and bolt with the small washer, put it through the hole. I'll put the big washer underneath, then the nut. And I'll tighten this one down, and when I do that, I'll do this one, so this one is straight up and down, and this one's more at a 45-degree angle. And again, the reason for that is so when you put the straps on, this follows the angle of the strap itself. Like that. Okay? See, we have the anchor on in place. It's not tightened down yet because I still have to paint the tire. So I'm just showing you how to drill the holes and where to position the pieces. We have the right and left shoulder straps in place. We have the right and left handles in place, and so that's pretty much how you set it up. I do want to warn you, however, when it comes to the shoulder straps, what you should do when you're getting ready to drag, just to drag, is you should unhook these and then switch the top right to the top left side, and vice versa. And then what you should do is tighten these down as tight as they'll go. And then you should tie this up. In any way you can, so when you start to drag, that none of the pieces drag on the ground. Because if they do, then you're gonna you'll destroy the ropes very easily. So when you drag, you should drag it like this. So switch the sides and tie the straps down so it doesn't none of the straps drag on the ground, because if this drags even for a second, these things will tear pretty easily. So always make sure that this is, when you're pulling the tires, always right side up, and this is and that will help reduce wear and tear on this system. And then when you go to pull it, just switch the sides back, okay, and you're good to go. Thank you.